Hey Dustin. Remember on True Hollywood Story, Saved by the Bell, how the interviewer made you cry like a stupid fucking Jew when he mentioned the time you were raped during the filming of Saved by the Bell Hawaiian Style? Remember how he mentioned how you went into a Denny's bathroom? Remember how a man came out of the bathroom stall next to you and approached you? Remember how you felt nervous and uneasy when he stood behind you looking over your shoulder watching you piss out of your tiny cock? Remember how you said "excuse me" to the man? Remember how you grabbed you by your greasy Jew-fro and smashed your face into the urinal? Remember how you fell on the floor crying like a bitch still pissing? Remember how you felt when you were covered in your own piss and blood? Remember how you felt when you saw that it was actually Dennis Haskins that had did this to you? Remember how he whistled for Mario Lopez to come out of the other stall? Remember how Dennis Haskins stepped on your face so Mario Lopez could jerk off his spicy Latin cock to the sound of you screaming? Remember how he unloaded his cum in your bleeding head wound? Remember how Dennis yelled "my turn" and pulled his pants down and jammed his unlubed cock in your ass? Remember how you bled as he pumped your ass with his massive principal cock? Remember how you screamed in pain and Mario Lopez kicked your teeth out and yelled "shut the fuck up you stupid Jew. Shut the fuck up." Remember how Mario then fucked your toothless bleeding mouth while Dennis was still getting it on with your now torn asshole? Remember how Dennis pulled your arms back really hard and it made you scream while he shot his load in your bleeding ass? Remember how he said "how's a little HIV juice for you, Screech"? Remember how he pulled out and squatted over you? Remember how Dennis then sprayed his shit all over you? Remember how Mario came in your mouth and you gagged on his cum and threw up on the floor? Remember how Mario rubbed your face in the vomit? Remember how he turned you over on your back and shat on your face? Remember how he rubbed the shit in your hair and face and kicked you in the mouth again? Remember how Dennis said "I'm sorry, let me clean you off"? Remember how Dennis Haskins then pissed all over you and Mario did the same? Remember how they kept kicking you in the head until you passed out and then hog-tied you with your own clothes? Remember how they then threw you in a bathroom stall naked and covered in their HIV-infected bodily fluids and left you there for dead? Remember how you came to and saw Mark Paul Gosselaar standing there? Remember how relieved you felt that he came to your rescue? Remember the horror you felt when whipped out his cock and finished you off? Remember how he carved his initials into your queer hairless boy chest so that you'd always be reminded of who did this to you? Remember how Dennis and Mario came from behind him with a Polaroid camera? Remember how they then carved their names in your chest? Remember how they then took a bunch of pictures of you laying there so they could jerk off to them later on? Remember how the only clear thought you had was how violated you felt? Remember how the feeling of violation made you erect and turned on? Remember how they then saw your tiny erect penis and then kicked you straight in the junk for being a Jewish homo? Man, they really grilled you for the details in that interview.